Do you think the United States is a meritocracy where people with merit actually succeed?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Really?
I don't think it's universal, no, but for a lot of people, yes, absolutely.
I don't agree with that at all.
I mean, you don't think it's possible to work your way up with merit, literally.
But
this is anecdotal, but like, it's just not true. So that's so many people's stories. So,
I mean, no, it definitely happens. It happens less than in places that have less of a "fuck you, pay me" thing than we do. Like, not like no one's gonna call like any of these like EU nations socialist by any meaningful definition, but people are less on their own there, and they have more social mobility. More people move up than they do here.
Yeah.
In the last 30 years.
Like, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in if I didn't have a good spawn point. Okay, my family relatively affluent in Turkey, right? And despite the fact that my dad lost everything by the time I went to college, it doesn't matter because the affluent beginning that I got in the form of a great education and all this other stuff, not being burdened with like debt or having to work or anything like that, and being able to focus on myself and my education gave me the opportunities that I have now.
Me.
But that's not so social safety nets would make up for that.
Well, both my parents grew up extremely poor, worked their way up. So it's just like we can play this game of stories, but
like one of your parents had like
my parents zero. My dad
I know,
fat.
But what I'm saying is like he had
athletic ability. Well, some people have IQ ability.
Not just like athletic ability, but like one of the most amazing athletic abilities of all time.
And my stepdad had no athletic ability. I think he's probably has a really high IQ, sure, built a business, has much more money than my father. I mean, yeah, maybe I do not want to all end up at the same place. I want people who have a special skill to get rewarded for that skill, whether that's a brain skill, whether that's an athletic skill, that's what I want.
But do you think that like the children of a guy who has no skills, who just, hey, every day's a gamble for him and he always loses, do you think they deserve to like live in misery, like to live without dignity?
No,
to like worry about where they're gonna live? No,
but there's so many kids with parents who have special skills, and those parents blow their special skill off, and that's on the parent.
But like, what about what about the kid though? Like, is the kid just fucked then?
No, but what do you propose?
Do you think
that there's government housing?
We have government housing.
No, we don't.
You want better government housing?
No, we don't have government housing.
Not to the extent that we need it. I'm proposing that just there is a basic guarantee of human dignity.
Yeah,
like that other countries have. That you're not just totally fucked if your dad is like, oh, I spent all the bread money.
Yeah,
spent all the bread money on unleaded gas to win a street race and I lost.
Because
that's a lot of people. I've known guys like that, and sometimes they have kids.
Or depending on where you're born, right? Like, you can't honestly say, obviously, that like some kid born into like a rich executive producer's family in Beverly Hills has the same starting point as
I don't want to solve, but they should have an extra start. Their parent worked to give them that starting point. So
no.
You're saying fuck what that parent put in? No, he has the starting point because someone worked for it. And they should have that starting point because it was worked for. It didn't come from something random.
But you're missing my point. What I'm trying to say is that people are always going to have additional advantages. That's a given. I'm not advocating for like the equality of outcome or whatever the fuck Republicans think like leftists believe in. Okay, that's not a real thing because look at the NBA. There's always going to be someone that's taller, someone that's faster, someone that's stronger, someone with more skill. That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm simply stating is being able to offer every single citizen, every single individual that steps foot inside of the U.S. fucking border, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Across the board, a same level of base material equality and a same starting point that addresses all of their humanly interests and needs so that everyone can prosper and everyone can have lead a life of dignity.
And then I could get on board with something you were saying. If you didn't say anybody who steps over the border, why are you when we have Americans who can't take care of themselves, can't afford basic.
But you don't
basic
even
needs.
But okay. So you'd be fine. So you'd be fine if we had a stronger border.
If we had a stronger border, we talked immigration, then we could discuss it. Sure. I don't know what that would look like. But when we're bringing.
We could discuss it. It's like,
but you won't even say yes to that.
No,
you won't even say yes to that, even if we had.
We could discuss.
You won't even say yes to that, even if we had.
I've used that one too many times in my life to know what that means. To not know what that means, rather.
Yeah, no.
So you're against it, like, even though
I don't know what you're saying. You're saying I'm against universal, but y'all pitch it in a way where you say, "Oh, it's just the bare minimum for people."
Yeah.
No, lots of people are surviving at the bare minimum on the horrible welfare system that we have. So no, people are surviving off so then you say, but what is your bare minimum? A luxury apartment, like
no,
Austria?
a bare minimum is like adequate shelter that has like actual fucking hot water, cold water, like
even if you're not working on your life at all, like lots of the
100%.
Well, like,
no.
why
not?
If a kid's parent is like fucked up, they can't get it together, whatever reason. Whether you want to say it's because they're a bad person.
Well, let's do something for kids then. Let's have a program for
they're
kids.
gonna live with their parent. Like, why should they have to live at a fucking bus stop because their dad like fucks up all the time?
No, they're kids, elderly, non-productive workers, or like unproductive people that are not a part of like the labor class or whatever should still deserve a life of dignity, especially because we can fucking pay for it. If your fear, on the other hand, is that like, well, then we're not going to incentivize these people to like work hard or whatever. You're not incentivized to fucking work hard right now, but yet you still do, right?
I think I am, yeah.
But what is your incentive?
I want more than even my parents are willing to give me.
Okay, but like you have been afforded a life of luxury because of who your parents are, and yet you still want more. That a lot of people strive for that, except they don't even have like their needs taken care of.
I'd say if you pooled all celebrity children, yeah, there's a lot of celebrity children who work hard, and yeah, sure, but if the majority don't. I would say the majority don't want more than they have.
Yeah, and they shouldn't die, is my point.
No, but...
Okay, that's fine. Like, their parents worked hard. They no longer have to. That's fine. If they don't want to work hard, that's fine. What I'm simply stating is that there's plenty of people. Like, you got fucking kids, their parents are teachers in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? They're making like 28 grand a fucking year. They have to do Uber on top of that. Like... That child should not be in a worse situation overall. Like that child should be taken care of. That parent should be taken care of. There should be a fucking housing.
Aren't they being taken care of?
No,
not at all.
There are people who
they're living under a bridge. They can't afford food. Like
they're living like. Do you see the story in New York about the apartment that had no heat, so they had to run a fucking space heater in the hallway?
And it fucking
burned down and killed 18 people. I bet there are, out of those 18 people, I could pick out people that would fit your benchmark of someone who's doing everything right, who's like doing what they're supposed to, whatever that means. You would find enough people, and they still got fucked because this is a brutal country, even for people who are ostensibly doing everything right.
Yeah, plenty of people who work super fucking hard. Most people, I would say, even that work super fucking hard are never going to get above, they're never going to actually fucking reach financial security, not because they haven't worked hard enough or smart enough, but simply because they're fucking spawn point. Like they were born they got fucked. They were born into an immigrant family, or they were born overseas and then their parents had to come here illegally and offer a better life for them, but they haven't been able to reach that financial security. That budget shortfall is built into their existence. There's nothing you can do about it. And the unfortunate reality is like, look, I come from a relatively affluent background. You come from a very affluent background. So this is not something that you've probably encountered. But being poor, especially when I was living on my own, being poor is very expensive. I had to fucking do some crazy shit to be able to like get this amount of protein that I need to fucking consume after working out. Like I would get like expired chicken. You know what I mean? I lived in a fucking kitchen of a frat house. Not to say that like I made it so everyone else can or whatever the fuck. And I still had a fuckload of advantages in comparison to most other people that are in similar circumstances. But I know for a fact that like there are so many people who aren't able to get that leg up, that aren't able to ever reach any sort of point beyond financial insolvency because they had to fucking, they're saddled with debt. Because they went to college. They're saddled with debt because they have a shitty parent, like Felix mentioned. They're saddled with debt because medicine. That's the most insane part. They're saddled with debt because they just, they don't have health care. So went to the hospital. Some shit happened. And now they're fucked for the rest of their lives. That's insane. That's a bullshit system. That's not the wealthiest country on the planet. That's the worst country. Like, it's crazy how much we have and how much we could afford to do for our citizens, and yet we refuse to do so. It's bullshit. Also, yeah, the idea that like welfare makes people lazy is just ridiculous. It's like been, it's been disproven time and time again.
Yeah. Nope, you haven't changed my mind.
It's okay.